Welcome back to another episode of Beck the Vet podcast. I am on episode number 10, and I'm here with a special guest by the name of Kevin N.E.R.V.A. Lassiter. He was my big brother when I crossed the burning sands of Kaplan the Kai Military Fraternity Incorporated. And I wanted to get to talk to him a little bit, talk to him about him, getting to know him, talk about the fraternity and some of the trips that we've been on. So, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you having me, man. I really do. Thank you.
Oh, not a problem. So, getting to know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how do you think that helped shape who you are today?
So yeah, originally from Baltimore, Maryland. Lived there first 21 years of my life. Grew up in a dual parent household, and I got brothers and sisters. I'm the oldest boy though. The best way to kind of describe where I grew up is if are you familiar with the TV show The Wire, you'll know that like I'm from East Baltimore, and so my neighborhood was surrounded by a lot of the different things that you saw on that show, both positive and negative. But I had two hardworking parents that really kept me away from a lot of the dangerous stuff. But that shaped my worldview, when I lived there.
The Wire is definitely one of my top five shows. So, how accurate is The Wire? If you gave it a percentage, how accurate?
It is like I'm gonna say in the high 90% of accuracy because a lot of what you see on the show is them taking real life stories of events and people and just putting it on the screen for all of America, all the world to see. And another big thing too is there's a lot of people who are real characters or real people in real life who had cameo appearances as different characters that was playing out the stories they really lived.
Wow, I did not know that. Okay. So, what is a memorable childhood memory? And this can be positive or negative.
So as a kid, I really became I learned how to read at a very early age, and I became really really fascinated with reading. And so once I really got good at reading and reading aloud and comfortable with it, one of my teachers recommended that I join this dramatic reading contest. And so they had one at the school level, like at my grade level, and I wanted the grade level, and then I competed at like the citywide level, and I came in second place. And I had practiced real hard and rehearsed and did all this stuff. And when I lost, I got mad about it, and it affected me as a little kid, and I stopped reading for a while because of that experience. So it was a bad experience at the time, but I feel like in hindsight, it set me up and it gave me some tools and some things that helped me, be a better person overall. And but it did take a lot of work to get me to make myself be interested in wanting to start reading again because I stepped away from it for a while.
I understand that, and you know how important how I feel about reading and literacy, especially when it comes to elementary school kids. Because you know myself, Juju, Ernest, we were at Glen Hill Elementary for like 3 years, teaching
Mm-hmm.
kids at their grade level on how to read, and it's just something that unlocks in their mind, whether it's the imagination, the creativity part. I believe if you're reading at a young age, you start to become an independent thinker.
Yes,
It
I
helps
agree with you.
unlock that. It helps unlock that. So it's that's dope that you did it. I'm mad that you felt you needed to quit because you lost the contest, but you came back to it. So that's all that
Yeah, I
matters.
came back to it. And that was young kid me just, learning a life lesson. Learning a life lesson.
Speaking of the young kids, how do you think your close friends would describe you?
I think if you talk to people that I grew up with, they would probably talk about me being serious a lot, kind of having a naturally protective nature, and of course just being loud because I'm a naturally loud person.
Do you have any role models growing up, and who inspired you the most?
So I had several role models growing up. The one who inspired me the most was my dad. My dad to me is just the epitome of what a man should be, especially one that's a husband and father. And everything I learned about being a husband and a dad, I learned from my father. Other ones that I had were male teachers that I encountered with throughout school. And there's not a lot of men that work in schools, so there aren't a lot of them. But the good part is I can tell you them by name. Spencer Key, who was one of my teachers in high school. Warren Wiggins was my science teacher in sixth and eighth grade. Alan Banks, Ronald Bradley, and William Duncan were all men who were very influential in my life, showing me life lessons, showing me things about leadership, even consoling me and helping me through relationships in high school.
Okay, that's good stuff. Good to hear. Uh, so, what are some of the things you like to do outside of work?
Outside of work, I've gotten really big into mentorship. I'm dabbling into public speaking and motivational speaking, but I think that I feel guided to work with youth, particularly like preteens and teenagers. And I do that through coaching athletics. And recently, I've transitioned from being a full, a straight up football coach to being an athletic director. I serve the athletic director for a NFL affiliated flag football organization in Southern Arizona by the name of Gridiron Desert Elite. And so, working as an athletic director, I get the chance to work with young people, showing them the power of their decision making, team making, leadership, and just basic life skills.
Okay. Did you attend college? And if so, what was that experience like?
So I didn't attend college directly. Well, I did attend directly out of high school. I didn't finish though. I dabbled in school. I really didn't have the focus and the dedication to it that I should have. And college is something that I have become very serious about, especially since my retirement from the military. I'm proud to say that I retired less than 1 year ago, and in that time, I am currently 2 weeks away from earning my bachelor's degree.
Hey, what school? Where at?
Oh, I'm currently attending Purdue University.
Purdue University. Nice. That's what I'm talking about. Education is important, especially now that you're in the military, because you're getting paid to do it. Like that's the beauty
Yeah,
of it. You get
it's a
paid
lot
to do
easier to
it.
do. It's a lot easier to do when you don't have to worry about the tuition part, but also when the demands of life decrease some, and I can dedicate a lot more time to it, and also mentally, I just feel like I'm in a spot where I'm more focused on. School is paramount in my life to the point where I've been attending college in some way, shape, or form for the last 3 years now. And it's times where I don't have class, I'm like confused and don't know what to do with myself. I'm so used to just
I
being, I got
understand.
a paper to write, I got a seminar to go to. And so it's become just another part of my life.
I understand that. Like, where's all this free time coming from? Hold on. I know I have to do something. I understand.
Exactly.
And I understand how school didn't work out at a young age because sometimes the maturity level is just not there. So you feel like
Yeah,
you
but
get a little bit more discipline, which is why you joined the military. I did the exact same
exactly.
thing. So I understand that. So are there any books, movies, television shows that influence your mindset or perspective?
I say I'll give you two books for sure. One of them is a book I read probably about 5 years ago, maybe six. It's called Ego is the Enemy. And I got introduced to that book through the Netflix series Last Chance U. And that book empowered me to be able to analyze decisions that I make and kind of tell what's the root of those decisions. Are those decisions coming from a place of logic? Or are they coming from my ego, which is more emotion based and self centered? And so it helped me to identify those things. And then the next book is a book I'm currently reading by Jason Wilson, and it's called The Man That the Moment Demands. And so this book, along with the first book I told you about, are really just tools, giving you tools to help you analyze what's going on around you and learn how to adapt to an ever changing environment and to empower you to have the ability to look at things from different perspectives. That's the best way I could put it.
Sounds good. I haven't heard of those books, but definitely text those to me after this is over so I can check them
I
out.
got you, bro. I got you.
The two books that I'm on, I got The Promised Land with Barack Obama. So I
Okay.
started to
Yep.
read
Yep.
about his inauguration and the stuff that he was trying to do that he couldn't get off.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I read Charlemagne the God's book. And Get Honest or Die Lying, Why Small Talk Sucks. He talks about a lot of the issues and problems that's going on in the world today. So those are my two that I'm
Okay, both good books.
reading.
I'm familiar. I read The Promised Land. I own that book as well. And I don't know if you know, but I worked at the White House during Obama administration and the last 2 years of the Bush administration. So I got to witness a lot of that stuff firsthand.
that he was talking about. That's good stuff. And I'm gonna ask you about it when I finish it. Just some of the stuff that's in there to see if you
Okay.
caught up. Uh, what's a fun or random fact about you that most people do not know?
I think most people don't know, and this might be surprising to some, is that I'm a big fan of Star Trek. I'm not a wear the costume, go to the conventions type fan, but I know a lot about most of the characters, their backstories, and different aspects of the whole Star Trek genre. And my favorite series in all the Star Trek shows is Star Trek Deep Space Nine. That's my favorite series.
So Star Trek over Star Wars?
For me, yes. I mean, everybody got their own preference, but for me, it's definitely Star Trek over Star Wars. Yes.
Okay, that's good. You say preference because most people are just down Star Wars and say no, Star Trek is just far more better. But you just said my preference, so I like how you
Yeah. Because
you
my
on the good.
kids are Star Wars fans, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. Hey, y'all like what y'all like. I like what I like.
You don't want no beef with the Star Wars
No,
fans.
I
I
don't want no
understand.
beef with the community. I love everybody.
All right, let's talk about our brotherhood and bonding. What's
Okay,
one of
okay.
the what's one trip that we've been on that sticks out to you the most? And we've been to multiple crossings. We went on fellas trips. Out of everything that we've done, what stood out the most and why?
Man, we have done a lot and some memorable experiences for real. I'm gonna probably say, um, the trip we took to Vegas, the one, and so y'all in cahoots with my wife,
Uh,
did a surprise trip for me when we went out to Las Vegas. I believe was it 2022 or 21? Whatever year it was, don't matter. We went to Las Vegas, and while we were out there, man, we did we did a lot of cool stuff. I mean, one thing for me, I was always that kid that loved five exotic cars was like one of the coolest memories of my lifetime.
yeah, racing those Ferraris and Lambos.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely remember that. That was a good time. I still have my video that they
And
made
that
for me.
was, yeah, I still got mine too. And that was my first time ever going to Las Vegas. So, you see Vegas on movies and on TV and it's cool, but I remember, matter of fact, one thing, and I remember this specifically with you. We were walking down Las Vegas Boulevard. We got right there in front of the Bellagio, and you got the fountains that's spraying off and doing their thing. And we both just kind of stood there and watched it, took it all in for a minute. I think they had like music playing in the background. And it was one of the moments where you don't feel like a real person. You feel like a character in a movie or something. At least that's what I felt like. But I got a super active imagination, so I felt like a
Yeah,
character in a movie, and it was a cool experience.
it definitely was. Shout out to Twanita. That was
Yeah,
did she
yeah.
surprise you with a birthday gift like that? Since you're one
Shout
of your
out to my
closest
wife for
friends.
sure.
So, what surprised you the most about the kind of conversations we had while we were doing our men stuff like racing Lambos or smoking cigars in Mexico?
Honestly, man, just the fact that we all kind of go through a lot of the same things, uh, and for me it was, so I still was in the military at that time. You all were sharing a lot of y'all experience about transitioning from being a soldier to into civilian life, and so the trust, the openness, the vulnerability that was shared in a lot of the conversations was something that definitely imprinted on my memory, and I appreciate it because it helped me to prepare to make that transition. Since now that I've made it, it helped empower me to be able to do it.
Nice. How do you think our friendship has evolved over the years? And it's not just me. I'm talking about the men group as a whole, and especially now that you're actually you just talked about how all of us are in different seasons of our lives.
So it's definitely evolved. I mean, we first got together. It was, once we all was, members of the fraternity, and we all was at the kind of same position. We kind of got to a point where we would always go out party, and it was more about just having fun a lot. But then family got involved. We all focused on working and trying to better our communities. But nowadays, I really feel like it's even beyond that because we do things. I've had conversations with brothers about their physical health, about their mental well being. We look out for each other in a way that's different from just being friends. And I really consider each of y'all brothers. Like y'all are family to me. If it's ever something I can do to help, I'm there for you. And so I just feel like we have a total 360 relationship. There's no part of my life that I don't feel comfortable sharing with like you and some of the guys that we know. And that's just because of what we've all gone through and where we've grown to as men.
Absolutely. And me and you have had our conversations offline about my journey and my transformation that has happened to me over these last few months. So I appreciate you being there, not just for me, but also my family. So thank you, bro. I
That's
appreciate
what we
that.
do, bro. That's what we do.
Absolutely. So what advice would you give to people that want to take a men's trip? Because men's trips have a lot of negative connotations to it. So what advice would you give to people? Let them know like it's not like that. Like when
All
we
right.
go out there and we go do men's stuff.
First and foremost, there's a stigma that get put on these trips, both for men and women, that y'all just gonna go out there and wild out, right? And I can tell you with all honesty, I'm touching my cross when I say this. We ain't never wild out and done stuff. Oh, we can't tell our wives about this. We've never done that on the trip that we've been on. You really gotta, I would say, get with like-minded people you have the same interests with, and come up with some things y'all would want to do. Look at the area that you're going to. Look at the things that are available to you in that area, and then pick out cool stuff and pick out something that you can't do where you live at. You can go to the club in your hometown. You know, pick out something you can't do where you are that makes it special. I mean, like I get, I know I might be going off script, but
No, go
when
ahead.
we
Go off
went to
script. This is what the
Mexico,
platform is for. Go
when
off
we
script.
went to Mexico and we did that like hike, cave, and swim adventure, bro, we went down under the ground in Mexico into these caves and we swimming around in caves and the guide is telling us about how this was a rite of passage for people, back in the days, and how we're now experiencing the same thing. And it was something different you just felt about it. When it was over, there was something different about us when we came out of there. We weren't the same when we went in that we were when we came out. And that's the thing. I can't do that here where I live at. You can have a drink anywhere. You can smoke a cigar anywhere. But to be able to do something like that where you combining these different physical activities along with something that almost feels a little spiritual in nature, that was special, man. I'll never forget that.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the sneakers. You are a avid sneaker guy like myself, not a collector.
No.
You wear your sneakers just
Yeah.
like myself. So are there any sneakers that you wish you had or you missed out on?
So yes, it's several that I wish it's two big pair that I wish I had and I missed out on. And then recently I was able to get one of them. I'm waiting for the other one to come out again. So like you said, I'm a sneaker wearer. I'm collecting a little tiny bit now too though. Not to your extent though, but a little bit. But yeah, so I'll give you two pairs. One pair is the Space Jam Jordan 11s, have always been one of my favorite pairs of shoes. But I really wasn't into sneakers. I just liked looking at them and they look cool, but I wasn't really into sneakers when the last time they released. So I didn't get a pair, and they're crazy expensive and hard to get now. So if they ever re-release them, I'm going all in to get them. A second pair that I've always wanted that I didn't get at the time and I regret it is I'm gonna show you. I recently got them. So the eggplant
Oh,
foam
positives.
posits, right? The eggplant foam posits. So this shoe was one that and it came out in 2017 on sort of a men's trip. We went out to San Diego, California, and they had them out there in the store. And for some dumb reason, I didn't get them. I should have got them, but I didn't. And so it took me all this time and a re-release to get them again. So, but yeah, I believe in wearing my shoes. It's one of my mottos. I think it's a blessing to be able to do things you want to do in life. And so when you are blessed with the ability or the opportunity to get what you want or to go where you want, it's kind of a slap in the face of the blessing if you just hoard it all up and don't use it. So for me, when I buy a pair of shoes, I wear my shoes because that's me enjoying the blessing that I was given by being able to have. And
Nice.
lastly, sneakers. are the gift that the kid inside me, the adult me gives to the kid that still lives inside my heart. Because as a kid, I wasn't able to do it. My family, it was four of us, and I grew real fast, and I went from having a kid's foot to a men's foot real quick, and my mom just couldn't get me shoes. So that's probably why sneakers are such a big part of my life.
Understood, understood. Let's talk about your military life and transition and talk a little bit about KLC. Now that you've retired from the military, what's been the most unexpected part of civilian life?
Mm, time. I feel like I have. I feel like I have more time, but it goes by faster. And so the challenge has been to use your time wisely because literally you blink and it's the sun didn't come down already and it's time to end the day. And so, yeah, the freedom of being able to do what you want, but the requirement of the dedication it takes to use that time to the best way possible.
Okay. Do you miss the structure or brotherhood of the military, or has that been replaced with other connections, like
There
being in the
are some
military?
things that I miss. There's some things that I miss about it, and not enough to want to go back and jump right back into it. But I do miss some of the structure. I do miss the close nature of friendships and relationships and how the people you work with, y'all, it's like a melting pot. At some point y'all all become kind of one thing and work turns into social, turns into family, and I miss that part of it.
Okay. What part of the military career do you think shaped your mindset the most today?
Mm. I
Because
think
you have
my
what's your
experience at
background? You were a signal, right?
yeah, so I'm Signal. I'm a communicator. 25 Quebec/Hotel. The name changed. So I was line of sight tactical communications and small satellite comms. But I think the assignment that changed me the most is two. The first one is the 7.5 years I spent working at the White House Communications Agency, and that's because that's a no-fail environment. You cannot make mistakes. If you discover you made one, you better have a fix action within a millisecond because what we do, the best way to describe it, the things that we do make history happen every day. And when we make a mistake, the whole world might be able to see it. So that shaped me in one way. The second thing was my time as a AIT instructor, or advanced individual training instructor, where I taught young soldiers the skills that I learned to become a military communicator. And that assignment changed me or shaped me, not only because it presented the opportunity for me to take brand new soldiers and turn them into communicators, but also working with a lot of people that were my peers. A lot of times, depending on what rank you are, let's say you are E5, it's a handful of people just like you in the unit, but it's more people that are junior to you than there are that are peers to you. But that was one of the first assignments where I worked with a bunch of us that were all the same rank with varying levels of experience, and so I had to learn how to and I wasn't always successful at it, but learning how to coordinate, communicate, show empathy, be direct. That assignment changed me a lot. I had some successes and I had some failures in that job, but coming out of it, I feel like I was way more equipped and a lot more well-rounded as a leader and a person. And that's also the time in my life when I joined Kappa Lambda Chi.
And that was about to be my next question. What was your experience like in Capilano Chi military fraternity? Like I said, you were my big brother. You of one of three that helped me cross the burning sands with my other line brothers, my 12 line brothers. So, what was your experiences like, and what are some of the positions and titles that you held?
So in the search for like-minded brothers and an organization that would enable me to be able to give back, it kind of led me to Kappa Lambda Chi military fraternity. And so once I know that I can be influential with my friends, so I did something differently with joining this. Normally I would be like, hey bro, we getting ready to go, I'm getting ready to do this, and I'd have probably took a couple guys with me. but I did it on my own. I stepped out and I joined without telling anybody, without really bringing guys in, because I just wanted to be sure that being a member of an organization like this would be something that was beneficial to me and also to others. And so that's exactly what it has been. My network has expanded. The way I look at things are different. I'll tell you a big lesson I learned. It's called the orders of effect. You know, learning that this decision may affect 2, 3 other things down the line that you might not see in this moment, but it'd be smart of you to plan for it. But it's provided me with a network of brothers across the world that can provide you assistance, can provide you words of encouragement, can be there for you and your family in times of need, can celebrate your good times with you and help bring you up during your bad times. And that's very generally speaking, but that's exactly what the fraternity has been for me in my life.
Nice. So, what are some of the positions that you held in the fraternity?
Let's see. I started off like immediately after joining. I became my chapter's membership recruiter, and I'm proud to say was very successful in that position. Later on, I served as a chapter secretary, as a chapter vice president. I've served as a member of several different committees, national committees in the fraternity, and I currently serve as our national sergeant at arms. And so it's been a pleasure to serve in each of these positions. Each one comes with its specific challenges, but very specific rewards. And I'm honored at the opportunity to be able to serve and be able to affect positive change in the organization. Honestly.
That's what I'm talking about. So let's talk about your future and reflect a little bit. So what gives you hope about the future?
Mm, the youth. The youth give me hope. When I interact with young people, I see their I don't want to say innocence. I just see that some of the negative stuff that's out here in the world is not spread to them and change the way they think. I've seen young people show empathy towards each other. I've seen young people accept diversity and make sure everybody feels like they are a member of the team and they are part. I've seen them treat each other fairly. And so I think that when one of the best things I can do to shape or help, forge the future is to keep young people focused on things like that, to enhance their ability to do things like that, because those mental attributes will help save us from a lot of the negative stuff that we got going on in the world right now.
I understand that absolutely. There's so much that I want to say right now, but I understand. We just gonna leave it at that. We
Right,
just
right.
what's one issue you wish more men spoke up about or got involved in?
I wish more men talked about mental health. I wish more men talked about mental health. Being somebody who's dealt with mental health struggles and seen the good end of it and the bad end of it, um, I wish more people talked about it. I wish it wasn't so taboo. I think in military circles, we're a little more open to have certain discussions. But outside of the military, I don't see a lot of people that my family members who have never served and things like that. I don't see them really comfortable having these conversations, and I think that it's something we got to talk about. Because it affects everything else that we do. So I would love to see um, people feel more comfortable having those conversations, and I'm an advocate. I'm here to help. I'm here to listen or advise or whatever you need. I'm here to help anybody that would want to delve into that.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about. So what's something you want to be remembered for, and not just by your family, but those that you led in the past or served?
It's one word that is near and dear to my heart. I want to be remembered as a person who empowered other people, because empowerment, it's just a super powerful world. It's basically saying there's something that's inside you or something that you have that maybe is not at its fullest potential, but I want to be a part of unlocking that and really, helping you be the best you can be. And so that's something I'd like to be. I would hope that people I serve with, people I volunteer with, my brothers, my family, that they feel like interactions with me empower them to be what they want to be, not what I want them to be, but what they choose to the path they choose to go down. That somehow something I did assisted you in getting there, not to my credit, to your credit, and to the glory of the Lord.
Yes, glory to God. So, where do you see Kaplan the Kai military fraternity within the next 5 to 10 years?
Mm. So in the next 5 years, I see us in a new headquarters building, like in a building that we own, and that we are using as a center, a gathering point, a place that can be used to provide services to its local community and branch out from there. I see us as an organization that will probably be triple the size it currently is. And I just see us continue on a path of success. That's what I see in the next 5 years. 10 years down the line, I see us having a not only national headquarters, but possibly having international satellite offices. Maybe one in the European continent and one somewhere in the Asian theater of operations. That's my personal vision in the next 10 years. Again, the organization, is a lot of smart people making a lot of big plans, but that's what Kevin Lassiter would love to see.
Nice, nice. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. Where can people find you for social media pages in case they want to get some advice about mentorship or get
So
into
I got three
sports?
things that I post on. One, I'm on Facebook under Kevin Class with a K, Class Lassiter. You can find me on Instagram at Vice _N_real_life, Vice in real life. And then I share my sneaker passions and other little tidbits of leadership on my TikTok, which is also Vice Lass, VICE_LASS. So if you want to see every Friday, I wear a different pair of sneakers to work, and you want to see my kicks of the day, follow me on my TikTok.
That's what we used to do at work. We used to call it Jordan Fridays, where we used to just wear our Jordans to work. I'm glad to hear that's still going on. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I am Beck the Vet. My guest Kevin N.E.R.V.A. Lassiter. As I continue to honor the past, build the future, and serve the now. I appreciate you for coming on the platform, bro. Thank
Thank
you.
you, brother.
Have a good one.
You too, bro.
There it is.